Okay, so this is my top 64 Galacticmon deck for the Gencon regionals. Uh, Start off with the eggs, 4 Sumemon. Uh, all turns, while you have 4 or more Venmons and sources, you gain plus 3k. That comes up all the time. And it has Venmon in text, which is incredibly relevant for Galacticmon's effect. Next is 13 Bt21 Venmons. Uh, you can have up to 50. You can suspend it to search top 3 and add a fusionized Destromon, Galacticmon, or Snatchmon to hand. And then you take a Venmon and put it as this thing's bottom Digivolution source. And then Inheritable, it lowers Digivolution cost into specifically Destromon or Galacticmon by 1 per Venmon in sources. That adds up incredibly quickly, and you also means that you need to keep track of which one of these has been used. Next is 4 of the Bt18 Venmons. On play, reveal top 3, add a card with Venmon in text to hand, and then take a Venmon and put it underneath one of your Digimon. So the card you add can be any Digimon or any card at all with Venmon in text, including a Venmon itself. And you can take a Venmon and put it underneath one of your Digimon, so you can put this under a different stack if this is not the primary stack that you're building. The Inheritable is lowering the Digivolution cost into a Digimon with Venmon in text, and that is mandatory. So if this is underneath one of your Venmons and you Digivolve into a Snatchmon, you're going to have to activate the ability there. But that can keep turn for you so that you can continue moving up the line instead of just passing because you Digivolved into a Snatchmon. Last of our rookies is 3 Bt21 Venmons. These guys have on play trash a card with Venmon in text to grab a non-digi egg card with Venmon in text from trash and add it to hand. So any piece that you're missing, you can just grab back, and anything that you don't need in hand, you can start filling up trash for later. And the Inheritable is the same as the Bt18 Venmon's Inheritable and comes with the same caveats. Then we have, for our champions, 4 Bt18 Snatchmons. They have Digicross with just Venmons if you only have Venmons on board, or that's also if you have nothing on board at all. You can Digicross using Digimon from the trash. When Digivolving, you can grab up to 2 Venmons from trash and put them underneath the stack as bomb Digivolution sources. End of turn, if you have 4 or more Venmons in its Digivolution sources, you can Digivolve into a Digimon with Venmon in text. So routinely you can you can play this for 2 and just really recover quickly from what your opponent was doing. If your opponent refused to delete Venmons and you need some stuff in trash, you can just grab all the ones that have done their search from your board and just put them under here, and then all their Digivolution sources go immediately to trash. The Inheritable is all turns, once per turn, when Venmons are removed from this Digimon's Digivolution sources and put into the bottom of the deck. Unsuspend this Digimon and it gains blocker. So that's mandatory. You have to do it the first time it comes up, but it helps you with the OTK, and since it's all turns, you can kind of control when that happens. and it helps to get you a blocker when necessary. Then our only other champions are 4 Bt21 Snatchmons on play. When digivolving, you search the top 3, add a card with Vemmon and text to hand, and trash the rest. Then take up to 2 Vemmons from trash and put them underneath one of your stacks as its bomb digivolution sources. So this is a fantastic searcher. Searches the entire deck. It helps you build up your trash, and once again, this thing can put sources under a different stack, so you can have this as like a secondary stack to just help you get more pieces and just be building a much bigger stack that your opponent is going to have a lot of trouble dealing with. The all turns effect is when Vemmon are sent from its digivolution sources to the bottom of the deck. You attempt to delete a 4 play cost or less. It's all turns, but it's also mandatory. So the first time that happens, you have to do it. This does come up, and when you're trying to go for game, definitely watch out to make sure that you sequence everything in the proper order. That's it for our level 4s. For 5s, we run 3 Bt21 Galacticmons. He's 10k, so he's huge. He can slug it out with some level 6s. Digivolves over a Vemmon. So you don't actually need a Snatchmon if you can't find one for whatever reason. When digivolving, cards from the stack cannot be removed, and for every two Vemmons in Digivolution sources, you de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon by 1. So what that means is until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon cannot be de-digivolved or source stripped. Then you de-digivolve one of your opponent's things. And de-digivolve is one of the best forms of removal right now. All turns, if this card is removed from the battle area, you may play 1 Vemmon from its sources for free. So if you have a Bt21 Vemmon and this thing gets removed, you just play that one out and grab this back. Or you can play a different one and get some more search. Honestly, that doesn't come up very often because you usually go into this and then immediately into Galacticmon. Its inheritable is opponent's turn, once per turn. When your opponent is attacking, you can send 2 Vemmons to the bottom of the deck to end the attack. Stops you from having to deal with something that's somehow bigger than you. Anything that has like a multi-attack or an effect that can go off a bunch of times, you can stop that. Next, we run 3 of the promo Destromons. So this has Digicross as well for 4 Vemmons and a Snatchmon. This has to be from hand or field. So that doesn't really come up very often. But the on-play when digivolving effect, you delete Tamers and Digimon with a total play cost of 3 or less. For every Vemmon in sources, you increase that by 1, which ends up being... Usually you have 4 Vemmons in sources when you go into a Destromon. So you're deleting 7 play cost routinely. And that is usually a memory setter and either a level 3 or one of the utility tamers. I've gotten that up to 8 or 9 before and just deleted 3 tamers or 3 level 3s or 2 memory setters. But going into Snatchmon, coming to 0, digivolving into this for 1, and then deleting your opponent's memory setter can really destroy their entire game plan. These are also the cards that I would say are most meta dependent. So depending on what you're going into, you might want to drop one of the BT11 Vemmons for another promo Destro or another Bt21 Destro. Namesake of the deck, you run 4 Bt21 Galacticmons, 14k, 6 Digivolution cost. That is almost always either worth it or discounted. He can Digivolve over a Snatchmon for 9. That comes up a pretty good amount. When Digivolving, you grab 4 cards with Vemmon in text from trash, place them as his bottom Digivolution sources, and then play a Ragnarok Cannon for free. So that says cards, so you can grab Tamers, Options, or Digimon. Every card in the deck has Vemmon in text, so you're just looking for 4 cards that say Vemmon in your trash, and you can play a Ragnarok Cannon for free. Start a main phase, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. That's mandatory. All turns, if this Digimon would be removed from the battle area, you can bottom deck 4 Vemmons from its sources to stop that from happening. It's not once per turn. There's no limit on what it is that will remove it. If you get multiple charges of that, you can really just gum up whatever your opponent is trying to do and just have this unstoppable big Digimon that they have to deal with, because this thing is probably going to be a blocker, have redirects, end attacks, be able to delete stuff on either opponent's turn. If you have the Sumemon in its sources, you're probably going to be 17k, which is harder to get over, and those Sumemons can stack up as well. I've had this thing at 20k routinely. So that is the end of the Digimon. For the options, you're going to be running 4 of the Ragnarok Cannons. 6 play cost. Main effect is delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Then set this in the battle area. Your turn. When your Galacticmon attacks, it's got delay. And you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost again. If this doesn't delete, trash their security until they have 1 left. So that ends up being an entire clear of the security. And a lot of my opponents did not know what this did until I was activating it. I said what it did, and a lot of them just hand waved it and said okay, and we moved along. And then when I activated it, they were stunned and had to read the card once or twice to really get it. But this card will help you clear boards and get you the OTK, especially if you have a Bt18 Snatchmon under your Galacticmon. If you activate that inheritable effect, you're going to restand your Galacticmon. So you swing in, trash all but 1 security, check the last security, Galacticmon lives, restands with your Snatchmon's effect, and then attacks again for game. That happens a lot in this deck. Security effect, you may play 1 card with Vemmon in text and a play cost of 6 or less from hand or trash. And then you add this card to hand. So you don't care about the adding it to hand because Galacticmon can play Ragnarok Cannon from trash as well. But this is playing out a Snatchmon, it's playing out a Vemmon, or it's playing out one of your tamers. All of it has 6 play cost or less and Venmon in text. So it's just, what do you need right now? What search is going to help you? And reloading Galacticmon on your opponent's turn can be very, very helpful. 3 Fusion Eyes. 1 play cost. You almost never pay that. You're going when you have a Snatchmon out, you reduce the play cost by 1. So this is usually coming out for 0. Then the used main effect, grab a Venmon or Destromon from trash and put it as the bottom Digivolution source of one of your Digimon. Then one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a Destromon or Galacticmon from trash. So you still have to pay for that, but usually what happens is you go into Snatchmon, you play this for 1, or you play this for 0, grab a Venmon, put that under Snatch, Digivolve into a Destromon from trash, Digivolve into a Galacticmon from hand. Or Digivolve into a Galacticmon from trash, and now your opponent still has to deal with the Galacticmon that they just spent a bunch of resources getting rid of. Security effect is reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You can play one Venmon from among them for free, and then trash the rest. So this helps fill up your trash for Galacticmon's effect, as well as getting you more field presence. And of course, all your Venmons are also pretty useful for search. We run 2 of the promo Zenith. Start of main, you can discard a Venmon from hand to gain a memory and draw a card. That helps fill up your trash. And of course, drawing more cards is almost always good. Your turn, when one of your Digimon attacks, you may suspend the Tamer to bottom deck 2 Venmons from its sources to de-Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. So this helps your Galacticmon activate Snatchmon's effect to restand. This can also help you clear boards of anything that's trouble, since some of the immunity effects just say Digimon effects and don't say Tamer effects. It also means that your opponent is probably not going to see this coming if you have a Destromon or a Snatchmon out. And lastly is 4 Zenith. These are Bt21 and start turn. This is a memory setter. Then on play, you're going to look at the top 3. You can add a card with Venmon in text to hand and trash the rest. If you chose a Venmon, you can play it instead. One of the best ways to start this deck out is you hatch, Digivolve into one of your Bt11 Venmons, then play this. So you search out top 3. If you can grab a Bt18 Venmon, play that out, and you're searching the top 3 again. So you've drawn a card, searched 6 cards deep, and now you have a board presence. If your opponent kills your Venmon, doesn't matter. If they don't, fantastic. He's going to stick around until they do. And the biggest piece of advice I can give for this deck is never attack your opponent's security unless you have Ragnarok Cannon and Galacticmon out and you're going for game. Your opponent will have resources that they can get in security, and you're just going to starve them. So with that, that's the end of deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.